Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Us Being You. This is episode number 15. That means we are 5 or 6 episodes away from reaching our goal. I think it's kind of like that final stretch. Uh, but it is fun. It is getting more like natural, more something that we're more used to, I would think. No, don't you
Yeah,
think?
definitely. Definitely.
I think it's more of a showing up type of thing now, rather than like trying to figure out how to do things and what to do and all that stuff. I definitely gotta be posted more often. I'm gonna be working on some clips soon, hopefully. But yeah, I've been busy these last couple of weeks. You know, we had your nephew, my cousin, come back from the Middle East. He was born in America, but he left when he was about 8 or 9, and he has been in the Middle East for the last 10 years of his life. Because he's what, 19, 20 right now. So I've been kind of taking him around, seeing his reaction to things. Like it's funny. I remember
How,
like as soon as I
how did
picked
he act?
the first thing I noticed was like when we showed up at the airport. Like I pick him up and like he sees me. I'm waiting in the place where I need to be, and then he sees me. I'm like, all right, let's go. He we were dragging his bag and shit, and then we pull up to the crosswalk. And then I'm like, all right, just wait till and he's like, wait for what? Like he thought like because
Just
in
want
the
to
Middle
cross
East,
the
yeah,
road,
they
huh?
don't give a fuck, bro. Like there's no light that tells him when to go, when not to go.
Yeah.
So and then it's funny when it was our turn to walk, and then all the cars stopped, and then he's like, oh, what? Like they stop for you, bro? Like and he was like, son, I was like, bro, get the fuck. And I told him because he speaks some English, he's pretty decent at English, I would say. You could definitely understand him. His word choices are a little bit off, but you could understand him
Yeah,
fresh
he'll
off the
pick it
boat.
up very
Yeah, oh
fast.
yeah, without a doubt. He's young, bro. He's 20, but
Yeah.
it's just interesting to see how he's like experiencing things. It's funny. I like when he ate In and Out for the first time, he loved it. He thought it was amazing. He thought it was one of the best things.
In and out is the best, man.
Yeah,
I'll tell
it
you
is
that.
good. It is good without a doubt. You know
Before
what
I
it is?
start fasting, that was
Mm-hmm.
my last meal.
Oh yeah, really?
I drove to In and Out. I
That's
drove half an
crazy.
hour,
That's
and I usually
crazy.
don't do shit like that. I usually like, ah, nah, I don't want to drive. I drove there. I love In and Out, man. It's really good.
It is though. It is
Animal
though.
style, my
You know,
favorite.
you know what it is? It's just simple, clean, and nothing so special to the point where you're like, oh my goodness, and nothing so like not special where you're like, this is ass. It's just simple. Their spread is bomb as fuck. Yeah, without a
Yeah.
doubt, there's obviously the better burgers out there and stuff. But if you're gonna talk about consistency and price and all that stuff, come on, like it's definitely number one. It's definitely up there.
How much is cheeseburger or number three? Is it number three in California?
I think 10 or 12 bucks, something like that between that.
Nah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm telling you, they increased the
only
prices. Yeah, it's something crazy. Probably.
here
I
is
mean, look,
like eight.
8. What do you mean
I think
eight?
8 or 9. Yeah.
8 or 9 bucks at where you guys are at?
Yeah. So I'm saying when you said
Damn.
11 or
Well,
12, I
I
was
mean,
surprised a
that's what I'm
little
saying,
bit.
between 10 to 12. I mean, look, I probably 13. It's probably between 12 to 13. I haven't been there in a minute, to be honest. But I know that their prices go up. And us being in California, everything's fucking expensive, bro. It's ridiculous.
It is. It is. But I used to like compare like I used to say like, hey, Texas is cheap, blah blah
Right.
blah. Not anymore, man.
Really?
I mean, it's still okay, but not anymore.
Do you think it'll
Like
ever come back down, or do you think that was because of
now
COVID?
it's
Like when
over.
COVID hit, it was just a spike
It's
that
over. It's
happened.
just not COVID. It's before COVID start was going up. Like when I moved to Texas, what, 15 years ago, you can find a decent house, okay house for like 150, 170
Not
in your
anymore.
dreams now.
Well, here's the thing. Wouldn't you say it's because
Double the
I
price
see
at
a lot of
least.
people. I saw this little like ranking where it was talking about why like the cities that people or the states that people are moving out of, and California was ranked number one. So the thing before, everyone was trying to move here, and now because of everything that's going on from a like a even a political standpoint or an economical standpoint, living here is not that cheap anymore, bro. If you got to work like fucking 80 hours a week just to live like an okay life in California. Imagine that. It's like an 80-hour minimum wage week, right? On a monthly basis will like bring in about around $5,000. You want to live in like an okay, nice, decent apartment, like 2,500 a month for a single room. Like that's half your income gone. just like
80
that.
hours a week.
Yeah, 80 hours a week too. And that means that you're not taking a fucking break. Like you're not seeing nobody. It's like you got no kids, you got no nothing.
So why do you want to live for? I mean, what's the point of living?
Well, that's what I'm saying. So it's like that's why living in California is wild. That's why now you need to have like where a man and the woman are working in a relationship. They both have to be working just for you to even be able to save any money, basically. One individual basically covers your expenses. The second individual is going to cover that saving or that extra cost that you need.
I don't know, man.
What?
I don't know.
Do you think it's
I
different?
guess no. I think just people are greed for money. They just want to
Is that
work
what it
so
is?
they can
I agree with
stack
you.
more
It's
money.
it's interesting because today, I guess we'll get a little dramatic, but like it's like it's so like I have my dad, which is the oldest between you and your six brothers, and then the second oldest is like your uncle is would be his name is Ahmad. So it's interesting sometimes when I'm sitting with them and I'm talking to them about the like life and stuff, and like and they define success essentially by how much money's in your bank account. But
Yeah.
me personally, I'm gonna be real. I don't think that's what success is about. Like I don't think that we were put on this
I
earth
don't think that
to sit
either,
there.
but the problem is a lot of people they respect you on how much money you have. So let's say
I
a
would
person
say
like me,
majority of society thinks that way though.
yeah, if I make a phone call, I'll be like, let's say, for example, oh, I'm coming, whatever. I'll be like, yeah, whatever, yeah, no,
They
or
don't give a
no, we're
fuck. They're
not
not
going,
excited to see
or
you,
that even
basically.
they even leave without even telling you. But if I have money in my bank, even the hello will sound different to me. To be honest, it's fucking reality, bro.
You think so?
That's what it is. Oh
Is that
yeah,
what
I
it?
think so. I felt it. I
But
experienced it. I
so
experienced it. Well, I experienced my family. It was people outside my family. It was friends. I mean, it's everyone. It's the same
so
philosophy.
then but then I don't think that's
It's
a
just
problem
stupid
with
though.
money
Like
though,
when you
isn't it
have
though?
money, people will look at you differently.
That's the thing. I think it's
Will have more respect for you.
and but one of my
It's
point is
stupid.
it's a human thing though, no. Like it's not then in that
That's what
case
I'm
it's not really about
saying.
money. It's a human thing that a lot of humans have this idea that that is what defines how successful you are. Whether you if your kid let's say like I get kids one day, oh, my son has to be a doctor otherwise like it's like, oh, what's the point? Or my son has to be a multimillionaire or more successful than me otherwise what's the point? But it's like
So should I do something that I don't like in life so people can like me or can have some respect?
that is what most people think. Like that's the society we live in now. And
It's
it's an unfortunate
sad.
thing, but can I be real? I think you should just do what makes you comfortable and content. And at the end of the day, fuck what
Yeah,
anyone's
but
gonna
if you
think.
do that, then you're alone.
That is true, but
You're all alone, dude. Like nobody gives a fuck about you,
a lot of the
which is
time,
fine, but
mm,
even your own family, even your close friends, they don't give a shit about you.
but the thing is, my thing is just because, but they're gonna give you that fake love anyway. So is the fake love really worth it though? Like, would you rather have no love or fake love? That's the question of the day. Like,
I'd rather have no love.
yeah, so that's the thing. I'd rather
Definitely.
not
I
deal
don't
with
want to be
some.
around fake love at all.
That's the thing, bro. Like, and I think for the most part, you sit there and a lot of these individuals look at you and they could give a fuck about you, bro. Like they just understand that they have to deal with you just for the fact that there is some blood relation. Like with you guys have some connection, and that connection is that you guys are related through blood. And I think that's insane. That's just ridiculous.
You know what I find out that what's stronger than love?
Interesting. What?
Trust.
Trust. But wouldn't you say that trust is love?
No,
The fact
no,
that
love is
but here's
completely
what
a
but like
different
some
thing.
people but here's my thing. I'll tell you
I
how I
can
see
love you and
trust.
still hate you at the same time.
Fair. I agree. And that's the thing. It's like parents, right? Every
But
parent,
if you
like I'm
trust me, you
sure
trust me straight up.
is it a trusting or is it loyalty? Is it loyalty like where or
I think they both end up in the
well
same
then
thing. I mean,
if you're gonna look at it like that, isn't respect what it is then? Because respect leads through everything. Like I'll never lie to someone that I respect. I'll never like I'll never lose trust with someone that I respect. Like for example,
I
I'll
guess
never.
love, respect, trust,
It's all
they're all
connected.
strong weapons. They're all
Yeah.
strong weapons.
But I think to
They're
your point, when
all
you say trust, do you mean like also, and doesn't that come with honesty, basically? Like I think
Yeah,
being
yeah.
like yeah, and I think honesty is the most important thing at the end of the day. Like I was just thinking about like literally earlier today. It's like when you are able to just be yourself with someone, to just speak your heart in front of someone, and just not be worried about being not necessarily judged. Sometimes the judgment is good. You want to hear someone tell you like, no, that's not a good idea, or you want to hear someone be like, well, I disagree with that. It's a good thing to hear that, I think.
But Ali, the problem is when you start doing that,
Mm.
you're gonna be sitting alone. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Nobody's gonna like you anymore. People,
So you're
they
saying,
can't
uh-huh.
speak nothing but lies.
That's
Even
fair.
to be honest, even they lie about everything. Like
Yes.
sometimes you don't have to lie about little
Yeah, but
shit,
my thing is, are
like
you gonna
simple
change who you
questions.
are? Are you gonna change who you are just to fit in with the rest of society? Like, I don't think it's worth it. It's not worth.
I'm not changing who I am,
Mm,
but it's sad. I mean, even like simple questions, like people just lie.
yeah,
People
yeah,
just fucking lie
yeah. Just
about
yeah,
anything.
that's true. I've seen it too. It's pretty
And
interesting. It's
I
like
mean,
almost like a part of.
sometimes people lie to impress you. That I can understand. But why do you want to lie? You just want to fucking lie. Like they can't even say the truth anymore. Like lies lives in them. I see you smile.
Yeah, I mean,
I see. I know. I know. I know. I don't
it's
know.
just like it is. It sometimes it makes no sense to be honest. Like a lot of time, you would think that people would want that you would that people would want someone to be honest with them. You would think that like that for instance, if I was getting a little heavy, a little overweight, I would want you to be like, "Yo, what the fuck's going on, bro? Like you're
Yeah.
looking a little unhealthy." I wouldn't want you to sit
Yeah.
there and just be like, "Oh no, it's okay because he's my nephew, so I'm gonna let it slide and let him be fat." It's like, nah, bro, like fuck it. And again, that's just one example, but I think that's the world we live in now, though. No, like there's just
I
always an
mean,
excuse
yeah.
for everyone. Oh, I
Yeah.
can't do this. Oh, I can't do that. Oh, I can't do this. Oh, I can't do that because of this. Oh, it's okay to be this way. Oh, it's fine to be that way. Where's the line? Where do you draw the line? What is not okay then? Like if you're gonna like let it
Yeah.
out,
Even people at work, even they just fucking lie, dude. Like, it's crazy. Like
maybe
even if
that's
they do
just
20
the way
push-ups,
we
yeah, I
communicate.
could do 100. I did 100 yesterday. Maybe the motherfucker didn't even do no push-ups. Like
Do you
just I
think?
didn't do no push-ups. What's the
But the,
problem?
my thing is, aren't as humans, aren't we structured to be that way? Like to try
Not that much, man.
you think
I
so?
mean,
I
not that
agree. I
much.
think a
Yeah,
lot of it comes back to the lack
I
of
mean, we
confidence in
all lie
yourself.
sometimes. There's white
Yeah.
lies and shit, but don't let it don't let it get into your system that that's all you have to speak, nothing but
It almost
lies.
becomes, but here's the thing: lies almost become a part of your language, your dialect. Then you're just so used
Yeah.
to like even when you want to tell someone the truth, you just it just comes
You
out.
can't, yeah, you just lie about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen people like that. I've met people like that, and I just fucking feel bad
I don't
about
know.
them.
You know what it is? I think a lot of it is people enjoy the idea of status, and with status comes money, right? And that's why people chase money. They're slaves to money. And that's the sad part, to be honest. I mean,
Ah.
and at the end of the day, we're all slaves to something. But if you're gonna be a slave to anything, definitely money would be the last thing on the list for me. I think it's insane that a lot of times people choose, for instance, making more money rather than spending time with their kids. Like I think that's insane. Like, sure, fine, it makes life easier. Look, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Having money definitely without a doubt makes life easier. But all I'm gonna say is if you're gonna focus on it later down the line in your life, even though you have ease of access to things you're gonna realize it's not worth it, bro. And look, 9 times out of 10, shit always gets figured out. And if when there's a will, there's a way. Simple as that. Like it doesn't matter how much money you got. If you're committed to doing something and figuring something out, you're gonna figure it out. Like, okay, so what if you can't afford the nicest wedding in the world? Okay, fuck it. So what? I'm still gonna have a good time and have a beautiful encounter or a beautiful day with my wife. A wedding. It could be a small wedding. Who gives a fuck as long as I do something? Like, why do
Yeah, but
things
who
always have
thinks
to
this way anymore?
what do you mean? Everyone thinks like that in that perspective. What do you mean? Now about
Like,
status, about that
no, I mean like having a small weddings and having a normal life. Who does this shit? 1%, 2%? People put money on their credit cards just to show off to make a big fucking
that's
weddings.
wild though. I find that insane. I find that insane. There's no way you can be like that obsessed with money. Like, okay, look, I'm not sitting here and saying I wouldn't want a nice Porsche or Lambo or whatever, or Ferrari, whatever the case may be. I'd be lying. But doesn't mean I'm gonna sit there and tell you also that I can't continue with my life seeing I can't I'll always see myself as a failure if I don't have a Ferrari or a Porsche or a Lambo. Who gives a fuck? Because I don't think that's what being successful is about. I think being successful revolves around having well-raised kids, having kids that are respectful. You being respectful, you being a good person, you being able to give back to the world that you live in. Who gives a
That's what I'm
fuck
saying.
who gives a fuck how much
How
money you
many
got in your
people think
account?
this way? 1, 2%
Yeah, very,
probably.
very small. But that's the point, no? And that's why you're alone. A lot of the times when you are taking a it's essentially the path less traveled on, essentially. Nobody takes that. Nobody wants to take that route. It's not as fun. It's not as interesting. It's not as free for you to do whatever you want. And I think that's crazy. I think a lot of it comes back to people having low self-esteem. Uh, they have egos that they can't let go of, and that's what's crazy. Like I hate when people think that they're better than anyone, bro. Like that's just insane. Like that's just fucking insane to me. Like it's like what makes you any special? What just because you have fucking more money in your bank account? It's like okay, good for you.
Yeah.
And
So they
so
they
what?
they know
Now
how
I
to
give a
speak
fuck about
better.
you? I'm
They
sorry, bro.
all of a sudden they have more knowledge than you. All of a
Can
sudden that
I'll say this.
no matter what they said, it's
Every
right.
time every when I grew up, I was always told like you're not better than anyone. My dad used to always tell me like, listen, the same way you speak to a millionaire that you know, the same way you speak to a janitor or someone who isn't as successful or a homeless person even doesn't matter, right? But the sad reality of life is that not everyone respects everyone on the same level, like you just
No,
mentioned. It's very
no.
small for people to look at you to look at the homeless person at the same level as like a doctor. But this is the thing. And again, yes, that does not don't take it away. That doesn't take away from a doctor becoming a doctor compared to the obviously the doctor is more successful, but that does not mean that you treat him any differently. You know, the
Successful in what?
exactly
In
this
life in
now here's the
general?
question. So here's my point,
No.
and here's what I'll ask
In
to
one
everyone.
way in life.
Exactly
That's
in one
it.
way in life.
Because that
Exactly.
homeless man could be having way more shit better than
Yeah,
the doctor.
100%.
But the money covers everything.
Yeah. Do you think so? Like it may cover everything in front of society, but I don't think it covers everything in front of like the spiritual world or like the religious world, like with
Yeah,
God,
yeah,
essentially.
yeah, I agree on.
So
Yeah,
which
yeah.
at the end of the day, let's be honest, like isn't that what's important? So for you, for me to sit here and be like, oh, I need to be this, I need to have a nice car because if I don't have a nice car, that means I'm gonna look like a failure. Okay, and who gives a fuck? Who cares? Who cares how I look to the world? I care how I feel between me, and myself and my family, and that's the important
Well,
thing
I
at the end
hope
of
you
the day.
keep it that way, my friend,
No,
because
no.
this is
I
the
mean,
right
look,
way.
I said this to you. I've learned this from you, to be honest with you. Like, thankfully, obviously, financially, like, God bless. Like, you're chilling. You're not the most rich person in the world, but you're not the poorest person in the world. But you're good. Now, obviously, with more money, your life would be easier, without a doubt. But
Definitely.
would you be happier? That's the question. Like, is it worth like everything else in life, right? Risk to reward. The risk being that you take away hours that you could be giving towards your kids. The reward is that you're going to be getting more money because you're going to be using those hours to work.
I will not choose this route
Exactly my point.
unless if I have to. That's
Unless you have
it.
no choice, right? Like you gotta feed, you gotta put food on the table. That's
Yeah,
different. But what I'm
yeah.
saying, as long as you're able to maintain a stable and a healthy lifestyle with a balance mixed with okay, spending money, yes, but at the same time, understanding that I don't need all the money in the world to have a good time with my kids, to have a good relationship with my kids, to have a better understanding of my kids. Sure, sure, I could provide them a better financial future, but I'm not gonna be providing them a better emotional, mental, right? Just and from that perspective. And at the end of the day, look, dude, you could be the smartest person in the world. It doesn't mean shit if you don't have the skills to be better as a human. Like just intelligence plays a role, respect plays a role, as we just said, trust, on like honesty, like all these things are all connected at one. But I'd rather die knowing that I took care of my kid to be respectful, to be honest, to be loyal, okay, et cetera, rather than oh, I work twice as much just to make his life easier when he's about to go to college or when he's gonna go get married. I'm sorry,
What
bro.
do you know what he's gonna do when he goes to
Yeah,
college? He might not even need your money.
yeah.
He might just spend your money on drugs. Who
And
knows?
that's why I say being a
I
parent is
mean,
not about
I
providing
don't know.
financially. Yes, that plays a role, but that's not your main job as a parent. You're there building a human. And what I mean by building a human, I mean building their character, their personality, how they're gonna act to the world, how they're gonna respond to the world. You know, why do you think a lot of like these
That's the
school
right
shooters
way.
happen? Why do you
Yeah.
think a lot of school shootings
And a lot
happen?
of push when they're 18, 19, 20, whatever, a lot of push here and there,
Done
and that's
deal.
it. That's your
That's it.
job. Your job is over.
Yeah, and yes, you gotta why? Because you gotta allow your kid that experience to become their own person as well too. Again, it's about finding that balance, understanding when you should get involved, when you shouldn't get involved. But yeah, as I said, I think if you're gonna try to like focus on the idea that okay, I need to make more money so that I can give my kid a better life, I think that's the wrong approach, 100%. You should be saying, okay, I need to make more money so that way I can be able to spend more time with my kid, right? And if I'm able to spend more time with my kid, I can allow them to be a better person as they get older and progress through life. But I don't know. I think a lot of, and that's why I think a lot of kids in this up and coming generation are not that they're just lost, bro. There's no plan for them. It's just their understanding of life is just wrong in my mind. I'm not gonna say that, and why? Because parents got lazy. Parents got lazy, and it's that simple. And they used, in my mind, they used the excuse, "Oh, I need to make more money." In reality, I think they were just doing that for their own reasons, for their own selfish
Yeah,
reasons.
they took the easier route.
Mm. Like oh, if my like even let's just look at the Middle Eastern community that we live in, right? Like this Middle Easterns, there's a lot of, I'm sure, a lot of other foreign countries that function this way. For example, like Asian households, they focus a lot on education. Indian households do this as well, etc. You know, and there's a lot of other cultures. Anyway, so yeah, in our culture it's like, oh, if you don't go to school and if you don't have some sort of status, or if you don't make some decent amount of money, then who the fuck are you? They like they look at you as they genuine I think they genuinely look at you like they're above you, like they're better than you, they're more important than you, like their time is more like like relevant.
Oh God, yes.
It's
Yes, I know.
yeah, it's so crazy, it's so crazy, honestly.
Yes, I know. Yes, I know.
But I mean, hey, this is the world we live in now, you know. But I'm gonna be just straightforward, blunt. It's and I'll bring up my cousin again, the one that just came fresh off the boat. And by the way, if you didn't know, that's what FOB stands for, fresh off the boat, FOB.
Well,
I
thank
don't
you. I
know.
just learned something
Yeah.
new
See,
today.
interesting. See, and then you know, and that's the thing. Someone might hear that and be like, "Oh, I already fucking know that," but it's like, hey, see,
Yeah,
one person learned something new. But
yeah.
anyway, yeah, even though he's there, like it's interesting to see him reacting, as I said, to everything. And a lot of the thing I was having a couple conversations with him because the lifestyle in the Middle East is very different. Like alcohol and drugs and like all that stuff isn't as like, or smoking. Well, no, they do smoke a lot of cigarettes and hookah and stuff like that. But alcohol,
Fuck yeah,
drugs,
they do.
yeah, they do. They smoke
A
a
lot
lot.
of cigarettes. They're
Yeah, a lot of cigarettes.
everywhere.
Because you know why? Their fucking cigarettes are cheap, bro. They burn too quick. It doesn't give them enough nicotine.
Cheap
So
and it's allowed to be smoked everywhere.
yeah, nobody cares. Nobody gives a fuck. There's no
Like,
rules.
yeah, you go to like even to a fancy restaurant, like you're sitting to eat your plate and you see a dude behind you lighting a cigarette. It's like, what the heck? Yeah, I
I know,
noticed this
yeah,
shit.
exactly.
Yeah, I'm like, oh no, oh
But
no. And you smell it. Like you go home and your shirt smells like
yeah,
cigarettes.
100%. But yeah, so it's like a lot of he was saying a lot of people say like, "Oh yeah, you'll change and stuff." And he was like, "No, fuck that." He's like, "I ain't changing. Like this is me." You know, like he's like, "I'm gonna stick to who I am and I'm gonna be me." But I think a lot of people when they come to this country too, they fall into this trap, right? Where they see, "Okay, everyone is moving this way, so I
Yeah,
have to
he's
be
gonna
this way
lose it
too."
up. He'll
He'll
lose it
loosen
up.
up a little bit, but I'll be 100% honest with you. I don't he's a good kid. Like I don't think he'll lose who he is at his core, you know? And that's why I
Oh
say it's
yeah,
like
oh
yeah,
yeah,
like he has a strong
yeah.
foundation, and that's what's important. But I think that's what happened is that a lot of people get too loose. They leave too much room for them to fuck up with the decisions that they take nowadays. A lot of things are more okay. It's okay to do this. It's fine. This is okay. No problem. This is fine. And I think that's an issue. That's a big issue. And when these strong core foundations aren't focused on, but rather you focus on making money, okay, your kids, I think they see that, they feel that, they can feel that. Hey, when you're too, I always say this, I there will never be a time where like your kid is gonna grow up and be like, damn dad, I wish you worked harder instead of fucking spending more time with us. And if that happens, he can go fuck himself. Like it's like honestly, like
Yeah.
yeah, like it's like bro, the money that means it's like literally telling me, oh, he should have focused on money rather than me. And I find that insane. I find that so insane. Like if my kid comes to me and he's like, bro, listen, dad, I'm gonna be happy if I fucking draw paint and make paint every day or draw make art every day using paint. I'm like, okay, go do it. I'm not gonna sit there and be like, oh, I'm gonna fucking die if my kid becomes a painter. I'm gonna look like an
Shame on
idiot.
me.
Shame on me. I'm a horrible
Yeah, what
father.
friend's
It's like,
gonna look at me and
come
oh,
on,
they're gonna
bro.
look
Come
me
on,
at and
bro.
all that
And
shit,
who gives a
man.
fuck? But I know my kid's gonna go to sleep every day content and happy with his life, and that's what should make me happy. Not, oh, my kid got 100 million or whatever, a million in the bank account. Listen, don't get me wrong. Money is important again, but I don't think it's so important to the point where you decide to choose time over your time with your children, where you choose money over time with your children. Simple. I find it insane. I find it insane. And don't get me wrong, it does make money makes life easier. 100%. Anyone who says otherwise is 100% wrong.
What do you think if people they when you talk to them about this subject, they'll be like, "Oh wait, no,
No,
but
I'll
we're
be just
doing all
straightforward.
this, but we're doing all this, but hold on, that's what they tell you. Oh, we're doing all this not because we're just gonna make our life easier when we grow up, when we get older, so we have a couple million in the bank, so we don't have to
Okay.
when we retire, then we're all good when we're 65." And I say, what's left of life?
Yeah.
Like when you're 65, you get 65 and a half, whatever, then what's left?
Yeah. Like, what are you gonna live the last 10 years? Like, barely, like, with your
If
oldest
you're
fuck can
lucky,
barely maneuver through life. You can barely get your dick up. Like, it's
you
like,
won't get it
like,
anymore.
is it worth
All the
it?
shit we've been
Yeah.
eating. Yeah, I'm having problems in my mid 40s now, so imagine 65.
Yeah. No, no, you're 100%
I mean,
right.
not having problems,
I
but I
got you.
can
I
see
got
the
you.
difference.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, but just imagine when you're 65, 70. I mean, it's just you can't even travel as much anymore. You can walk, run, enjoy it. You could do probably a bunch of this stuff if you're healthy and you kept your life going. Yeah, but what's the percentage, man? Look at people at the age 65, 70 or now. Like it's sad.
You know,
I know a lot of
mm,
people. Like I had one dude comes to work and he's fucking limping. Like
that's
he
crazy.
needed knee surgery. He needs like hip surgery, whatever it's called,
Yeah. Hip
and all
replacement.
that.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna retire next month." And I'm like, well, and he's
You've been retired, bro. Like, it's like,
like,
yeah,
yeah, like you're done.
yeah.
Like, what the fuck are you gonna? I told him straight up, like, may I say something? Why didn't you retire earlier? Oh, I couldn't. I was like, how old are you? I'm like 60. I was like, oh man, shit, you look like 675, you know.
Well,
He's
that's the
like, yeah, I
thing.
worked a lot in my
A
life,
lot of
but I
time,
saved money. I'm like, yeah, glad you did, because now you're gonna pay on your medication and shit. And he started laughing. He's like, you're right, you're right. I was straightforward, but like, we know each other, you know, when
yeah,
who's
yeah,
like a new
of
guy.
course. Yeah, you guys are chopping
But
shit. Yeah.
that's what do people just work so hard, save fucking money to put it on their health and medication
I don't
and
know.
go and
I
see a
don't know.
doctor
Listen,
instead spending 2 hours at the park every day and playing with their kids while they're at the same time
mm,
they're doing exercise.
yeah, like you're able to build a connection with your child while being healthy, and I think
Yeah,
little things
but
like that. But dude,
people
this is
tell
the
me
thing.
what makes you guarantee if you do this you're not gonna be
Your
like
kid's
really
not gonna
bad
be,
shape 165. Yeah, I might be, but
but at
what's the
least you did.
percentage?
Yeah, exactly,
Like two, three,
exactly.
5% out of 100
You did
people
your
gonna
part. You
be.
did your part. At least you're not gonna like go get to that point
That's
and be like,
it.
oh, well, I didn't work out, and that's what. Oh, like you could be like, oh, had I worked, like imagine you're 60 and you're fat and healthy, overweight, whatever, you have diabetes, and then if you worked out your whole life, you're gonna be like, okay, well, at least I tried to do something. At least I did something. Yani, imagine if you didn't do anything and you have all that. You're gonna sit there with regret. You're gonna say, fuck, man, had I worked out more, I could have been healthier. I wouldn't have to deal with this shit. So I see your point. Like it doesn't matter, bro. But people, I feel people just find excuses to get away from the responsibility of things. Like, like,
Yeah, and if you start popping pills like medication at the age of
yeah,
40,
that's a problem,
you're
without a
fucked.
doubt.
You're done. You're
I
done.
mean,
There's no
you could
coming
turn it
back.
around. I think as long as you fucking get in
Yeah, but if you
shape,
want to keep in the same route, I mean, that's it.
it's
Then two
over. Yeah,
medication at 50, three at 60, 65, four, and you're done. You got to
I
see a
feel
doctor
you.
once a month and all that
100%.
shit.
100%. It's
Life is too fucking fast, man.
is
You
it?
know, yeah, dude, I was laying down in bed yesterday. I was just remembering shit like, fuck, time flies, dude.
Yeah,
Like
100%.
really, time flies. I'll tell you that. Time really
It's a
flies. I was
scary
just
thing though.
remembering
That's the thing.
my childhood, you know, I was just like bored. So I don't know what old thoughts were hitting my mind yesterday. Like
Uh-huh.
really, time fucking took me back to the old days when I was young. I start remembering shit and I start like building my memories till I get to the age
Yeah,
till I get to yesterday, pretty
got
much.
you. Yeah.
And I walked the whole way. I mean, I cried, I laughed, I kind of like didn't say anything. I paused for a second and I kept going. I mean, I remembered what I did wrong in life when I did right in life. Like, God, dude, life's crazy.
Complex. It's complex. It's very complex, but it's a beautiful thing. I would say those ups and downs are gonna happen, but they're a part of it, you know? You can't go down without going up. You can't go up without going down. Like it is what it is. But
Yeah,
it's
but
it's
like,
beautiful. Like
look,
you said something, you mentioned that you laughed, you cried. But I can even say like those tears, they're almost like tears of I like they're tears that are understood. I feel a lot of times tears aren't they just come out when you don't know what to do anymore, when you give up. But in a way, those moments of when you're remembering and looking back, it's a way of like damn, like yeah, like it was it was a lesson that you learned, something you understood, something you grew out of. It was a checkpoint, in other words, I would say probably. That's how I see it, at least. Sometimes I look back and when I look at when I'm grateful for certain things, I get emotional myself about that, you know. And when you realize how far you've come, and even though yes, I'm still young, I'm only 25, but I mean shit's happened to me too, you know. Everyone's
I'll tell you
experienced
that,
something.
dude, in no time you'll be 45.
Yeah,
I'll tell you, 20 years, be like, oh
it's
man, 20
crazy.
years. Yeah, 20 years, they feel too long, but you'll remember, man, when you're 45, you're like, shit, it's 40. Like, I can't fucking believe it. I'm almost 44.
Wow.
Like, this is crazy. Time flies.
Do
Like,
you?
my oldest is gonna be 16 in December. Can you fucking
Damn,
believe that?
damn.
Like, time flies.
Well, I will say this: from like 21 to 25, like I felt time really flew. From 18 to 21, I thought it was fast, but from 21 to now 25, I felt like my it was like I don't know how the fuck how I'm here, and I don't. And when you look at your accomplishment, and I think you realize how fast time is when you look at what you've accomplished in that span of time. Uh, so for example, I'm 25. I look, okay, I've done this, I've done this, I've done this, I've done this, and depending on how much I've done, I'll feel better about myself in a way. That's kind of weird, isn't it? Like, but then what is success then in that way? Like, what is it? What are these checkpoints to you? Like to me,
Success is right there. When you sit back and just reviewed
mhm,
your 5 years and you felt you did good, that's what success is
yeah.
right there, man.
And it doesn't have to be the fact that if you made money, it could have been challenges that you faced and that you
Yeah.
succeeded through. And I think a lot of times though, majority of the population thinks that okay, it's all about money. If I don't have the money, everything else means nothing. And listen, I'm not. Don't get me wrong. I understand that mindset. I understand if someone wants to go after that and push forward for that. But me personally, I do not think that that is the reason that we were put here to sit on this earth and just go make money and go provide financially for our kids. And that's what defines us as being successful or not.
Well, that's what people pushing for right now.
Is money going to give your kids the tools that they need to face life? I don't know. Listen, it'll get you to a certain extent, but it goes back to that like famous comparison that people always make, which is like talent will never beat commitment or passion or skill or excuse me, talent and skill will never beat hard work. That's what it is, hard work. You know, like as talented as you are, if you don't put the hard work behind, at some point it won't get you any further. You'll go a certain limit with it, but if you're gonna just focus strictly on your talent and just be a lazy ass and not practice and shit, you're gonna reach your threshold very soon. And it's similar to what I was just mentioning earlier. Uh, and I completely lost my train of thought here. I was mentioning where was I at?
That money thing, whatever, about you 25, what you had success and all that stuff. Then
Anyway,
you went,
but yeah, whatever it was. But I mean, I completed the thought. I think we're good to go. But yeah, without a doubt.
got a question for you.
Yeah, sure. I'm all ears. Let's go for it.
What do you think happens after death? I'm all fucking negative today, am I? Well, was my beer
It's
and I'm
part of
home
it. Yeah,
alone.
you look home alone,
It gets
depressed.
so fucking lonely, man. I don't know. I don't think I can live alone the rest of my life. I'll
Uh,
probably end up shooting myself or
no,
something.
what do you mean? Calm down, bro. Calm down.
I don't know, dude. Like
Uh, but
it's
what
weird.
do I think happens after? It's funny
Like what
because
I meant.
I had this conversation with one of your brothers, and they said that nothing, that it's just like when you go to sleep, you just don't wake up. And that in itself, I find insane. And I'm gonna say why I think
It
that's
makes
so
no
wrong and why
sense.
that makes no sense because that means that there's no consequence to whatever you do, whatever you do in life. So
So I
you can
can go
just sit
smoke
there,
and drink and
yeah.
kill
So that
people
means
and
that
steal
exactly. So
money.
exactly,
And when I die, I die. This is
yeah.
it.
Like that's it. There's no consequence. Like, oh, what's the consequence? What, just because
No.
in life, oh, I just go to jail. It's
So,
like that can't be
so
the. That's dumb because then
no.
it makes no sense. So for me, I listen. I'll say this. I think that as we all listen, I'm a believer in God. If you believe in God, that's that. Like I think that's the right direction. If you don't, totally respect it. Nothing against you. You know, I would hope that you could see it from the perspective we see it, and I'll explain. So the way I see it is that we're supposed to go through life. Every individual, every human is supposed to go through life and we're supposed to accomplish certain things and reach certain goals and go through it. In a way, I'll try to break it down like this. We have to go. Let's put it this way. Let's use the alphabet. Let's say you have to go from point A to point Z. All right. And as we progress through our lives, we work towards getting to Z. And Z is essentially trying to be the best version of yourself. Whether that be physically, emotionally, mentally, whatever it may be, just the best version of yourself. And I do believe that there's people do get reborn. I do believe that without it. I think that if there is a God, there's no way that he just gives us one shot at this. That there's no way that we just have one shot. Here's your chance. If you fuck up, like what if I turn seven? Like what if the moment I turn 70, I realize like holy fuck, I want to be a better person. Do you know what I mean? And so it's like, and some people realize it when they're 20, when they're 24, when they're 30, when they're 40, 50, whatever the case may be. And I think God being a fair person has to allow us this time to come back and take another shot, essentially. And let's say you know, your first life, you come in, you reach letter F. All right. Well, I think you come back and then and then whatever, then that's why that would make sense as to why certain people are born rich, certain people are born poor, certain people are born blind, certain people are born deaf. Why? If people sit there and say, oh well, God isn't fair, how come he's blind and I'm not? Exactly my point. So that's what would make sense. Maybe that person was that letter like G, the one who ended up being blind in this life. But what happened with them is that they fucked up when in their recent life, and so they went backwards. When they went backwards to letter A B C D F, right? When they went back to letter F, God took something away to allow them to further better themselves. For example, if you're blind, now God's putting you in a different situation. He's limiting what you're able to do. He's putting you in an easier situation, maybe a more difficult situation. It's all dependent on how you progress through these points in your life. And the goal is to end up getting to Z. I hope that makes sense. Doesn't it? Like
It does make a lot of sense.
yeah,
Everyone sees it differently, but
correct,
I
correct.
do believe there is God, and I do believe when people die, there is a scale that
There has to be a
uh
consequence in life. I've
yeah,
learned that there's a
you got
consequence to
to.
every decision you
You got
take.
to.
So you can't sit there and tell me that there isn't a
I think if
consequence.
you do good, you go a little bit higher place. If you do bad, you go down a little
Exactly my
bit
point.
till
Like
you
you
reach
level up
excellent.
in the
And
same way you go down those letters. Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
Without a
definitely,
doubt.
man. You got to. I mean, it makes no sense when you die and this is it. Okay,
Yeah,
like
I think that's
you go to
crazy.
sleep.
All these
It
emotions
makes
that
no
you feel,
sense.
all these people that you've met, like that doesn't just go away, bro.
No,
Like
no.
it. No, there's some sort of spiritual connection to that.
I feel that everything you do in life, everyone you meet, they're all like a test. You're always
Every
under a
single person.
test.
Do you think there's ever a moment where someone just comes along and
You're
they're just
always
just
under
there?
a test. You're
It's
always
like
under a
under
test.
or something about what you're gonna do in this situation, how you're gonna respond to a certain sentence, how you're gonna react to someone doing a certain thing to you. All,
Yeah.
no matter what, huh?
Yeah. All of it.
Interesting.
That's
I,
what I strongly
it
believe.
could make sense. It could without a doubt make sense. Even you could even say the things that you do in your alone time, in your free time, or a test. You know?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
Everything. That's what I'm saying.
But
You're always
isn't that a
under a
scary way?
test.
Isn't that a scary? A lot of people fear that. Maybe that's why people run away from religion. Don't you think? because religion
Why?
is, I'll tell you why. I think religion in a way is like a grade book. It's like a grade scale. For example, if you're I don't know, let's just use well, if you're a good Muslim, right? Well, if you want to be a good Muslim, you got to do this, right? And the more you do, the better version of a Muslim you are. But I don't know, is it that way though? Like, is that what life's about? Like, is it because someone, for example, Muslim prays 5 times a day and the other doesn't pray 5 times a day? I don't think so. Like, that makes no sense. That doesn't mean one is better than the other. Maybe the one that doesn't pray 5 times a day is a good person all around, rather than compared to the other one that prays 5 times a day.
Yeah, we can't judge that.
Yeah,
That's not our job.
that makes sense
Yeah,
as
but that
well.
doesn't mean, yeah, you don't, I don't know, dude. I think, in my personal opinion, religion in general, they had to hit the refresh because life has, not life, people have changed. Everything has changed. Like,
Yeah,
even if you're a good guy, let's say, I don't mean to say that, but let's say if you want to pray 5 times a day, you don't even fucking have time for that anymore.
that's crazy.
Like you can't. Like
Yeah.
you wake up in the morning, you
Like I
go
just
to work.
said, my nephew's gonna have to work 50 what's called 50, 70, 80 hours a week just to make like 5 racks at the end of the month. He has no degree, he has nothing. That's what he's gonna have to work a minimum wage job.
So tell me, where does he
Where
have
is he
time
gonna
to
have time?
pray?
Yeah, he barely has time to take a shit. Yeah, like it's like that's what sucks. I mean, maybe in between you could squeeze the time. Here's the thing though, like I feel like if you want to find the time for something, you could do it. It's not gonna be exactly how you want it to be, but you could find the time to, in your free time, maybe just, and maybe that's why I say religion is about intent. Like I think life's about intent too. Like you go about life with your with your intentions. If you hurt someone, if you meant to do it, there should be a consequence. If you didn't mean to, it's like,
Yeah, yeah.
well,
If you didn't, you didn't.
yeah.
Yeah, of
And
course,
so
of
that's what I'm saying. What's
course.
your intention behind each action that you take, behind each move that you make? What's your intention? That's what, in my mind, what is a judge. What's the right thing?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's when you get judged about it. Yeah, you wanna like let's say your cousin, right? Your
Mm,
intention to help him or to fuck him.
yeah.
Like, is it really to put him in
Yeah.
the right road, or
And then
you're
let's say
like,
I
yeah,
tell him
I'm
something,
gonna
and then
help you, but
mm,
when you go to bed, like, man, I don't want
then
to do this. I'm like,
yeah,
better route, but
yeah.
you don't want to give it to him.
So
That's
yes,
fucking evil right there.
exactly. That's super
Yeah,
evil. And I
yeah.
find that insane, but that's maybe the world we live in now, no?
But that's a lot of people will do shit like that. I mean,
Yeah.
don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. Very
Yeah.
close friends, very close relative, they do shit like that.
But hey, look, I'd rather
They
die.
drown you,
I'd rather
man.
die. I'll take the risk of getting fucked if it means that I stay true to who I am. I'll be 100% honest. And I think it's just part of the game, Like you wanna be a good person, you're gonna have to take L's sometimes.
I'd rather be the one that who gets the hit all the time, not the hitter, not the one
Exactly.
who hits.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, in the end, it all pays back. In the end, everyone gotta eat their slice of pizza, their slice of cake,
The piece of
slice
pie,
of
a piece of
life,
the
whatever you
pie.
want to
Yeah.
call it, piece of pie. Everyone, either you eat it, you be like, that's a good one. You eat it, be like, oh shit, I don't want to finish it, but you're forced to finish it because you
Interesting.
fucked up, because you dropped the ball many times.
Yeah,
Not
but
you, but
right, I
yeah,
know. But
yeah,
here's the thing though, like, isn't life about dropping the ball and figuring out how to pick it back up? Like, fuck it, bro. Like you're not gonna be right all the
yeah. I
time.
understand, but there's people there. They fucking want to dig a hole for you, man. Like,
And
I'm sorry,
let
dude. I'm
them
all negative today.
and let them
But
and
what
let
I'm
them.
saying, they just want to do that to you.
Yeah.
And
Why is that? Why do humans have this problem with someone else being
yeah,
better than them?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just fucking a human thing, I guess.
Maybe it is.
Just
Maybe
a
it is.
human. And when you go want to talk to someone and you're just talking about your personal life, and because you fucking care about them, you
Mm.
think they fucking care about you,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
they cut you off and they start talking like this conversation means nothing to us. Like,
They're more
stop.
concerned. It's interesting, actually. They're more concerned about showing you how they do something similar but better than how you do
Yeah,
it. So like if
yeah,
you're like, oh yeah, I cut my lawn, they're like, oh yeah, I paid a guy to take care of that for me.
yeah.
Like it's like and that's what sucks. But listen, as I said before, I'd rather die knowing, hey, I was true
They
to
share the
myself. This is who
conversation
I
with
am.
you. When they share the conversation with you, they make sure they always want to stay on top of you. It's not like you and I sharing conversations, just sharing conversation. Like, hey, I did this. Oh yeah,
You know,
cool. Yeah, I did that too.
I,
Like we're just talking, right? But other people don't want to fucking talk. They just want to make sure they want to show you they're better than you.
I'll explain it
That's
like this.
it.
I'll explain it like this.
That's
I feel
it.
a lot of people, and if anyone who's not watching the YouTube watching this on YouTube, I'll try to explain it as best as I can without any visuals. But I think a lot of times in life, like you'll see relatives, right? Like let's say I'll say my brother. If my brother's more successful than me, and and he's above me in terms of success as a person, me being a failure, like most people are, or being not being able to handle the fact that hey, my brother's better than me. What people tend to do is they tend to talk shit. They tend to like make you look bad. They tend to like say, oh, you did this, you didn't know how to do this. They judge you essentially, and they using their judgment, they try to put yourself, in my mind how I see it, is that they're putting you on they're trying to push you down to their level, because it's rather than saying, hey, let me reach to this guy's level, let me try to be like my brother or my sister or whatever the case may be, let me try to be good and let me try to grow myself and be like them, use them as a role model. Instead they're like, no, fuck this motherfucker, let me talk shit to him, put him down, make him look worse, him or her, whatever, doesn't matter. Okay, and that way I can feel better about myself. That's what's sad. That's what's sad, when people are taking decisions more from a selfish perspective, rather than be like, you know what? I'm happy for my brother or my sister or whoever it may be, and I'm gonna try to be like them. And I'm gonna try to be as successful as them, to be a better person, to be someone but instead, no, fuck them. Yeah, I'm kind of repeating myself at this point, but literally, yeah. Instead of putting someone down, put them up, bro. Be like, you know what, man, good shit. Good shit that's where you
They
are.
won't. They won't.
And can I tell
They
you
won't.
something? The things that you do well, they'll always bash it, as I said, because like
Well, maybe they don't
let's
see
say
it
you
well.
spend
This
time
is the
with your kids.
thing,
Here's the thing. So this is the thing, and I'll get to that right now. Let's say someone looks at you and says, "Fa, you're dumb, bro. You spend too much time with your kids. You should focus more on making more money."
which is I've heard that
Okay.
already.
Yes,
Yeah, I've
okay.
heard it from
Okay.
so many
Yeah,
people,
exactly. And
relative
but
too.
guess what? You're happy with your life. You're content with your life. But to
Yeah,
them,
but maybe they don't try to put you down. What I'm saying, maybe they don't see it that way. They see like
I
whatever you do is
I
fucking wrong.
right. I think to some extent, uh they look at you, they do want you to be better, you know. Or no, excuse me, what am I saying? What I'm saying is, to some extent, they don't know, like they're not purposely doing this, like it's just because this is all they know, this is how they grew up, this is what they understand.
But how could
And
you figure shit out
I don't
like
know.
that?
I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know. I have no answer for you. I can't comprehend how certain people function
It's
sometimes,
difficult.
or
It's
how they
difficult.
100%. And it's difficult because you, as a person, you want to try to be honest with people like this, but you can't, because they take it up the ass. Like they don't
Yes,
like
I
honesty.
do.
They would rather you bullshit them, right? And compliment them, but and they know you're lying to them. They would rather that than you tell them the truth and it be
Yeah.
something negative. Like that's insane to me. It's like, bro, no, fuck
And this
that.
is how you get invited to the party again.
Yeah.
But if you're honest and truth, you
If
will
you're honest and
never,
truthful, they're like,
you're
fuck this
done.
guy. What is he
You're
doing here? We don't
done.
want him here.
You
Yeah,
won't get invited
that's a
anymore.
sad reality. And the thing
Only
is,
on important occasions. That's
yeah,
it.
and I know you have a very a nice beautiful quote on your bio on your
Yeah.
WhatsApp. If you don't mind sharing, I would
Yeah,
I
sure.
think that'd be great.
Yeah, that it says it means the truth left me no friend.
The truth left me no friends, and I
Yeah.
think that's true. That's true. But
That's we
that's
believe
reality.
it. Yeah, Imam we believe Imam Ali said it 1,000 years ago. Yeah, and it's true, man. It's true.
Crazy thing. I don't know. It does make sense though. This is the world we like. Everything is fake now. I mean, media is fake. Internet is all fucking bullshit, fake. No one can be straightforward. Like, eh, this is the world we live in. I was thinking about this the other day. What if everyone just stopped using social media? Like imagine it just didn't exist. Like we went back to just phones being only able to text and call someone. Okay, no Instagram, no YouTube, no nothing. How would life be? How would like, or
Probably
maybe
the
we could.
first year people be crazy all over, but they still setting down because they'll be like, shit, what are we gonna do? What are
But
we
my
gonna
point
do?
is, do you
Like
think
they're
people would
all
care as
shocked.
much about money still?
No, no,
Really?
yeah, maybe, but the
To some
percentage will
extent,
be a little bit
yeah,
lower.
it would be a little more balanced out, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
look at the old-fashioned people, like I'm talking about my brothers, and they fucking care about money, and they never fucking use the phone till they're like, what, they get 30 years old,
yeah.
whatever. I mean, they all money it's always a fucking thing, bro. The Bible said that money is the roots of all evil. Like it's true.
Yeah.
It's
There's a
true.
uh,
It's always there, man. It's I mean, look at people invading countries to have more fucking money. It's
money,
never enough.
money,
It's
power.
never enough.
Well, you
Even the basketball players, the
mm,
soccer players, the football players, they
millions
just
of
want more
dollars.
and more and more and
Yeah.
more. I don't fucking
Now
get
what?
it.
Saudi Arabia
Like
offered
you have
Cristiano Ronaldo like 250 million. You know they offered
yeah.
Messi like $500 million a year, and this man
Yeah, he
declined it.
refused, but he was smart. He
Half
gained
a
more
billion.
money.
He might end up getting more money. That is true.
Oh,
But
he
still,
will.
here's the thing. $500 million.
He's not God on earth. I mean, look at his age and it just they
What
didn't
an
buy him because he's too good. He just I mean, he is good. I don't know.
It's his
I'll give
name, of
him
course.
that.
Yeah, yeah, he
Yeah,
is good.
it's just
But
for his name,
yeah,
the
his name.
shit they're
I
gonna
mean, he
sell
does. I mean, think
after
about
him.
it. Yeah, they're gonna make a lot more money off of it. But that's the thing, like you just mentioned, it all comes back to money. So then you
Yeah,
want. So then it makes you
and the thing
wonder.
is, my point is like it's never enough for them.
Well,
Like they
here's my
always
thing.
want
Yeah.
more and more and
Well,
more.
and that's what I mean. What it makes you wonder, like, is this what it's about? Should you think that way too? Should you end up saying, you know what, let me focus on money also, or do you just stick to who you are and
No,
fuck
no, I'm
everyone?
happy.
Yeah.
I'm happy.
Yeah.
I'm happy with my
And
lifestyle.
don't get me wrong, I'm
But
sure we all have moments where we're like, "Fuck, man, I wish I had extra 10 racks right now. It would make my things so much easier." But I know at the end of the
yeah,
day, when you
definitely.
put your head on that pillow at night, you know you're doing your job as a father. For example, spending time with your kids.
That's more important
You're
than
doing your
having
job.
10 racks.
And that's the thing. I think that is more. That is a duty that we must that we have. That is a duty that is important. It's not about, oh, I need to buy my kid a fucking mansion so that way to get him to make him live better. It's like, bro, no, give your kid the strength, give your kid confidence, trust, show him what honesty means, show them what it means to be a good human being, you know. Not, oh, I fucking got this for my kid, and yeah, okay, that means I'm doing my job. I'm sorry, bro, I disagree. I'm sorry, I disagree. I disagree completely. I'd rather, and here's the thing, bro. Struggle creates. Look at all the most successful people in the world. Look at all the most successful people in the world. A
They
majority of them
struggled.
struggled. A majority of them struggled. So struggle's not a bad thing, dude. Don't run away from it. That's what it is. Learn to live with it. Learn to enjoy and accept it for what it is. But rather, no, oh, I'm gonna try to make everything easy for my kids so they don't live the life that I lived. It's like, I get it, but that's also hurting them at the same time. You want to have a good balance. Struggle builds, pressure makes diamonds, as they say, you know?
Well, I rather get him hurt by them struggling and making it in life instead of me giving him money and hurt him and because money's evil, man.
It creates
Like
weakness, bro. It
if
creates
they have this
weakness.
money
It
and if
creates
they get
weakness.
bad friends around them and you're
Mm-hmm.
not there a lot anymore with them
Yeah.
when they're like in their
Yeah.
20s, just imagine you have bad friends around you and you have your dad give you a couple $1 million in your
Yeah.
checking account.
What do
I
you think you're
mean,
gonna do with it? At least some of it's gonna go to things that you're not supposed to spend it on.
yes, yes, just imagine. I mean, look, even Maradona fucking went did drugs and shit. Even he was old enough.
Yeah, a lot of
I
drugs, yeah.
mean, I don't know, dude. Money, it's bad. When you have a lot of money, it's bad
This is the
too.
thing. It depends how you see it. And as your father, may he rest in peace, once said, and I think we'll end it on this, is that if you put money above you, it'll just push you down, and if you put money below you, it'll lift you up. You decide
Correct.
which, however you want to see it. But yeah, I think this is going to be the end of this episode. We do thank everyone for tuning in. As usual, FA is giving us our his nods that we appreciate. And yeah, this is us being you, episode number 15, and we appreciate y'all tuning in.
Appreciate it and good night.